Mrs. Shoup?
Here.
Mr. Fitzgerald? Mrs. Dinella? Here. Mrs. Jenkins? Mr. Augustine?
Here.
Mr. Fodor?
Present.
Mr. Hack?
Here. I've got a motion to excuse Tom.
Make a motion to excuse Tom.
Make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes carried. And we're going to move into our public workshop, and I'd like to turn it over to our city manager, Monica.
We have done a workshop, and then we talked about efficiency, smart, and very new business. It was discussed that we should come back to a work session and kind of work out some of the details of the different programs. So we put together another presentation, and Jeff can do the presentation, and then either us or Efficiency Smart is here to answer any questions that you may have.
Okay, ready? Efficiency Smart, the work session. This is the standard program. With all, these are all the options that come with the program, page specific website, marketing, customer support, monthly report, administrative support, community engagement activities. That would be for all three of the options.
So I just want to add that city staff will not have to do any marketing, any customer service, or any reporting. That Efficiency Smart handles all of that on our behalf.
Okay, we have the custom community webpage. This is the Overland example. I believe you have the link for Overland. Did everybody take a look at it? Again, the comprehensive program. A little bit about it, what we talked about, it's $1.40 megawatt hour sales and a 3-year contract. For us, that would translate to about $318,000, about $69 a year. Or for the 3-year contract, it would be $955,000. For the full 3 years, the benefits would be about $2,441,000 on 40,000 megawatt hours. Cost benefit ratio, again, like we talked about, we get $2.56 worth of savings for every dollar we spend on the program. Large businesses, comprehensive program is custom. This would, they get to come in and reduce your large businesses' utility maintenance costs. Many different programs to tailor them to the energy efficiency projects. They would turn around and for lighting and procedurally and everything to the work procedures and stuff, and they would become much more efficient and save money. Business energy rebates reduce operating costs for your small mid-sized business by upgrading to energy efficient products and equipment. They use less energy, saving money, enhance the customer experience, reduce employee productivity, a big plus. This is the different options: residential, major refrigerators, the thermostats, lighting, custom meter to measure your usage. Comprehensive program, customer insight outside benefit from this program. This is where we get into the high usage bill service, which is a big plus for us at the electric department to help with some of those calls, because we get them a lot. Not nearly as much as City Hall, but we do get them. Appliance recycling, large business incentives, small business rebates, all products designed and services designed for people in the program. And from the economic development perspective, talked with Kathy about this. The programs give people the ability to offer plan reviews, which is really neat for the people coming in and building, so that the building that they build or bring in and occupy is energy efficient. Technical service and incentives help out for expansions and bring in developers of new business. The program can also help us to develop older areas with outdated infrastructure. And so, again, more energy efficient buildings. Is there anything that you wanted to add on this? Okay. things being equal, if every residence, this would be the light bulb program where you can, the average residential customer in Painesville would pay about $14 annually to be in the program. And with the savings from the LEDs, about one bulb is a savings of about $12.27, which is, you buy 2 bulbs, you pay back the cost to be in the program. And then the other important point is the bulbs keep on working for 11 years, bringing back the savings, continuing on and on and on. Custom C9 program, this would be the commercial industrial program. A little bit about the cost, the benefits. This is where we focus on just the commercial and industrial customers. Fortunately, they are defined by the 250,000 kWh or above would be the people that would fall, the businesses and stuff that would fall under this. And these are the 7 companies in Painesville that meet that threshold. So if we chose the custom C&I option, it would be for these 7 businesses.
Isn't Sass Rubber called Yokohama?
Pardon?
Isn't Sass Rubber called Yokohama?
Yokohama.
Yeah. They're Yokohama, we use the more common, we will always call them Sass Rubber, probably forever. But they are, you're right, they are Yokohama. So after Noveron, and then there's Altana. So we were trying to find a name that is more common than that. Okay, so under that situation, then you would recognize some of these other companies who would not be eligible for the product, but would, or the option, but would very much benefit from it. So just to give you some idea of 7 companies that would be in it under the C&I option, and some of the more well-known companies that don't quite make that threshold. This is all part of the Light and Right Markdown program, about buying the different styles and custom bulbs. Again, this would go back to the savings of just buying a couple of bulbs would get back the what it cost to get into the program. Thank you. Questions?
Thank you.
Yes.
So when you look at the comprehensive and custom plan, it talks about large business comprehensive plan. So this is where they can customize, and the efficiency smart folks will work with them, and say if you move this machine to 3rd shift, it'll give you this much, and so on and so forth, correct? Is that?
Right, so there's 2 things. One would be, so something like that where you're moving production around, where they're still producing, because that machine has to be on, because they have to produce whatever they're producing, where they're not going to save kWh on that, but it potentially lowers their peak demand charge, because you're moving that load around.
So I guess my question is, it is only the 7, would it be only the 7 that we see up there that can qualify? So if we went to the stated comprehensive and Belladonna wanted this type of customizing, they would not be eligible. The only folks that are eligible are the big guys.
Yeah, so just to clarify the term, when we talk about comprehensive, it
Yeah.
would be the program that's everything.
Correct.
So it's large, small,
Correct.
residential. So, repeat your question for me?
Well, when it looks at here, it talks about comprehensive program for large business.
Mhm.
You move small business, you don't talk anything in this plan that says they also too have the ability to do some.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the small business is the same thing.
They
They get the
can
technical
customize
help, they
it.
get, yeah,
Alright,
the paperwork's a little bit easier for them, but yes, they get all the technical help and the hands-on.
So it's not
Yes.
just large businesses that can customize, or
Correct.
everybody
Yeah.
can, all right. And then, I understand the residential piece. And then the next other question that I had was, so when you go back to the custom C&I program, and we're talking about the costs at that point, and that would be just our 7 big, large companies, correct? Okay, so do these numbers that you're presenting here coincide with those 7 users, and are they parallel? Do they, in other words, if we only have 7, would these numbers change, or are these numbers because accurate to
So
the
the
same?
numbers are based on the load that we have, like I don't have a list of each of those 7 and what they use, but we've been told that in your rate class, for that rate class, that is your total, so that's where we took that times the dollar.
And that would be the top 7, right, that we just talked about? So those numbers should reflect, if all 7 of them marched to the same drummer, we would be able to achieve at least a minimum of this type of savings. And this,
So
Right,
the-
so the performance guarantee on that becomes, it's still a 0.5%, but it's a 0.5% of that smaller load, and you would only be serving those 7 customers.
But these numbers are reflective of their load, it is reflective of what the program should do,
Right.
and these are accurate.
that's what, that benefit of 1.5, almost 1.6 mil is reflective of all 7 of those guys full tilt doing.
Right, basically, at that, if we got that 1.5% over 3 years, that's what that works itself out to over the lifetime of the measure. Yeah.
And other companies, if they expanded, could grow to that. I'm looking at here, we have Cintas and Meritech, and they seem to me, I think Cintas is the one that surprises me, that they're not as large as some of the others, but if they expanded and got large, they would automatically go in, there wouldn't have to be a change in our contract with them.
So Randy, I have to ask you this question, because it has to do with, so AMP actually bills you on your power supply. And so the question basically is, we'll just pick X company grows, and now that CI only, and now suddenly they're over the 250. How do you guys figure out whether or not you can bill and make them eligible for the program?
It's a question we've never had, because nobody's grown to get into the program, but it can be accommodated. We basically bill on a historical test year anyway, and then when we get data for the next year up, we change the billing requirements. The billing requirements would reflect the growth in load, so we would just start serving them when they need to be served and bill them accordingly.
So then they would be one of 8, and then they would be able to, hello,
Right,
where'd
right.
you go? Okay.
And actually, Christine, the aero fluid products over on Gillette
Oh, yeah.
have just expanded, but they haven't fully gone up yet.
So they,
We have a few that may fall under that are just
I
below.
forgot all about them, because they're not in my purview, I don't drive down there, so I read them, yes. Okay, those are my questions.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
So on the slide that talks about the average residential customer example, and they talk about the $14 annual fee in the program, that's for the comprehensive program is $40. So it costs them $14 to be, if we were in this comprehensive program, and that's whether or not the program does what it's targeted to do. So that $14 is based on.
So it's based on an average residential house uses 10,000 kilowatt hours a year, and at $1.40 a megawatt hour, that's whatever that is in 1/1400ths of a penny. So that's where that $14 a year comes from.
Right. Whether or not the program does what it's designed to do, which is to reduce some of our transmission costs and things like that.
Right, but again, it's a performance contract with a guarantee, so if we don't get to the guarantee, we owe you money back.
Okay. That's all I have.
Any other questions? Something you want to say in closing?
I think the slides show and the data shows that if we as Painesville are gonna get into the program, we should definitely do the comprehensive. It's not, really advantageous for us to get into any of the other really cuts almost 90-some% of our customers out of the picture if we do anything but the comprehensive. And the comprehensive also allows us to use our customers outside of our corporation limits. So those who in the township have issues with their bill, we'd also be able to send them to Efficiency Smart for high bill consultation and other things. So I think if we're going to do it, that the comprehensive is the direction to go. It's up to council if you want to get into the program or not. That's why it's brought to you guys to chat about. So at this point, really, it's up to you guys where we're headed after this.
So then, at this point, then we go back to our February 4th presentation, where we had the next steps. And at this point, like, you're looking for direction from us, right? So the direction was, direction 1 was, would council like to provide this program what level? Direction 2 was, would council like to hold off and evaluate at a different time, and when would you like us to bring it back? And then direction 3 was, we're not interested, and let's move on. So that's
What I would just add is that, I have a question on the presentation, it's the, you know, the $318,000 a year for 3 years. So if you take a look at the financial picture of the electric division, with the 3.1 million that we have on the books going into this year, and the 4.5 million, does Andy think that the 318,000 is a viable number for a 3-year period of time?
So the dollar figures are rolled into your power portfolio. So anything that's charged to the power portfolio gets delegated back to the customers. So that's where that $14 number came from, is that residents are going to be paying roughly $14 a year for the program. So it has nothing to do with capital costs or balancing the books or anything like that, because we're a nonprofit, so all of the charges go straight back to the customer. So it doesn't affect our books at all because it will be delegated to the customer.
So if I pay 14, what does Avery pay?
I didn't figure out that number.
I mean, it's substantially more. Right?
It's based on
See, it's
their,
whatever their load is,
Load
like,
is.
the $1.40 megawatt hour.
Okay, so 14 is the residents, and then as everybody else uses it, Belladonna would pay this much, and
Right.
it would flow back to their bill. It's not that they're paying it, they would see it, their bill would change to cover this. And then their expectation is they would get, hello, come help me, and they would get help from you, and then that bill would either go down or go back to where it was, or.
Right.
So it should,
well, our expectation is that Tom will be calling them.
right.
And
Right,
saying-
right.
So we're not gonna wait for them to call
Right.
us.
I understand.
Tom and his
Yes.
people will be calling them and saying, Painesville's offering this new product that's going to help you run your business more effectively and efficiently. Let us help you.
Monica, back to the money issue. What I thought I remember us talking about the last time we talked about this was that because our rates aren't going to be reevaluated for another 2 years, that the first 2 years, if we did this 3-year contract starting now, would not be absorbed by the customers in their bills because we already have our rate structure in place. So then my question would be, so then would we pile this on so that in the 3rd year they get a triple charge, so it makes up for what wasn't paid? Would we be eating the
Yeah.
cost for the first 2 years and then run it for them for
So I
1
think
year?
the way I said that was a misspoke.
Okay.
So it's not going to change the base rate at all in their bills because the rate structure is set. But we do have that power cost adjustment factor. That's where this would roll into, because it's not in the base, it would be added on into the power cost adjustment.
So then one more question I would have is do we feel that our utility is healthy enough at this point to not pass that cost on and absorb that cost with the utility itself, as it stands now?
I know. What I can say is that it is now the 2nd year of our 3-year rate structure. So we have brought our consultant back on board to do a cost of service and rate structure again. So we are in the process of doing that cost of service again.
So then it is possible for us to determine that the cost of service that we're charging now needs to be raised, and then that would be added on top of this.
Yes, when that number comes back, yeah.
So I just want to say, since there's uncertainty about that, that's one of the things that makes me uncomfortable with moving forward with this. And the other thing that I want to add to that, and because I feel like we'll have a better handle on that, especially because we're doing this big smart meter project, and I think we still don't really know what that cost is going to be like for our customers. So So potentially, even though it's only a small amount of money per year for the customer, I appreciate all the figures because it really helped me to look at it because we didn't have those before, so I really appreciate all the work. I guess one of my concerns is that it's going to be piled on, and then when we do our rate restructuring, we're going to have a really big jump for our customer base. And we don't really know yet. Is that, am I wrong in that?
I do not foresee a big jump in the customer charge. The AMI is, we're paying cash for the majority of the cost of that system. So I do not see a big jump for the customer rate at all.
Monica, can I tell you?
Yeah.
So another way to think about this in this short period, like if you're going to change rates in a couple of years or whatever that is, and this is true of all utilities, that by having the program in place and having those people reducing their, using efficiency as a way to reduce their usage now, if you are forced down the road to have a rate increase, it's going to affect those people less because they've taken the measures of the program to lower their usage now. So any whatever percent increase is going to hit them less than it would if it were done today, without the chance to hit the efficiency.
So it's a good chance for residents to get like let's say they have a 100-watt halogen light bulb in their house, and then you can replace it with a 30 whatever that's taking 9 volts opposed to 100, or 9 watts opposed to 100. They're being able to buy it for like $1, which they're usually $10 or $15 if you go to Home Depot. So they're gonna, I mean, if you guys are good enough to push this out for the public, and they can buy these bulbs, they can lower their the cost. They can get into a newer bulb for the old price of an old bulb. And those things, they don't heat up as much. There's less chance of fires. I mean, there's so many chances for people now to do that. I mean, I have a rental house, and they're supposed to be in charge of replacing light bulbs. And this way, it's feasible for them to actually upgrade the light bulbs in the house when they replace them, because they're going to be as cheap as the incandescent bulb.
You mean like the landlords can more cheaply?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I just think the benefits are really out there. It's going to have to be on them to impose on the residents and the owners of these properties that this is available.
So basically with this program, we're reducing the amount of electricity that people purchase. Is that our goal?
Yes.
So that cuts down on the profit that we're making. So that's why I'm going back to my original question. Can we afford $1 million over 3 years to do this?
So Jeff, well, actually, let Jeff, because Jeff just actually, the thing we just talked about talks about that.
Okay, I was just, I was talking to Tom, and maybe a better way to look at it would be, I've come up here before, and we've talked about purchasing power blocks and buying power, market power and remaining requirements, and that was going up to like $38 a megawatt hour, 45 like with our First Energy, and the Efficiency Smart program is similar in that only instead of that, it's a $25 power block. In that we're paying $25 a megawatt hour to be part of our portfolio to use less and be more efficient. So I think rather than you were looking at buying into a program, it's more adding to our portfolio to change our market price. So at $25 a megawatt hour, that's offsetting the higher costs. So we're more efficient, we're saving them in a sense, rather than what we're doing now.
If I could,
So-
remember, you're right, when they're cutting megawatt hour usage, you're cutting your revenues. This program is only designed to cut about 0.5% of your annual usage. And usually that's a community's growth. So we're just cutting back a little on your growth. So your base revenue pretty much stays the same. But what it does do, as Jeff correctly said, is it cuts your cost more than the revenue loss. So your profit doesn't hurt, is it hurt at all? We've served 58 communities. 58 communities. We've never had a community come up to us after 3 years and say, you hurt our revenue, you hurt our profit.
Okay, that was my question in terms of.
And it's a logical question. It does sound, and we get it everywhere, because it does make sense, like, wait, this is what we sell, and you're telling us we want to sell less.
Yeah, with this program, we're one of the only utilities that's going to ask you to stop using as much. And it does seem counterintuitive, but at the same time, the math works out that it's saving all of us money at the end of the day.
Well,
Yes.
I would like to just go over one, if you could just go over again if it fails, how does that money come back to us? I know it's a percentage of 70%, blah, blah, blah.
So-
You can help me.
So walk, like, do it again, because you, so I just cover numbers, so the guarantee 70%, your goal's 100%, and let's just say you get to 50%, what do we owe?
We own the 20% difference between the 70 guarantee and what you actually achieved times the rate. And that's it. That's
Times the
refund we
rate
get,
of-
Which is $1.04.
Which is $1.40.
$1.40.
So do you have a vision on how we're going to monitor the program?
Yes, they do extensive reporting every single month, and Jeff and I will be sitting down with their staff every month to monitor it. And then they actually have a third party who monitors the numbers as well and it verifies that their numbers are correct.
If I
So
could-
there's an extensive process.
Part of my job is we hire, as Monica correctly noted, I hire an outside firm that's not associated with the program. Every year, they come in after the fact. We just finished 2017 in last August, so we're getting ready to start the 2018 analysis now. And it takes us about 5 months. But we come in and verify all their claim savings in every single community. So you have a pretty good understanding about where you actually are. You don't have to take their word for it.
And-
Their word's been good.
And as Monica mentioned, we supply a report. So one of the things about, just in general, this stuff is sort of anonymized, so that we're not sharing confidential company or somebody's home address, like this is what they did at their house, because everything's public record, obviously. And so we have a report that we share that would go to like Monica and Jeff, and that would be designed to share with council on a regular basis. We send them out monthly, that just says, it has a dashboard, it's very colorful, and it talks about, here's what your goal is, and here's kind of what the pipeline, and here's how many residential transactions have taken place, and all those things, and it's updated every month, so you can check your progress, and you can see the pipeline that we've built towards the goal. So we make sure we communicate that clearly.
Is there a time of year that makes more sense to implement the program?
No. We've had people come on board any time of the year, and it hasn't been an issue. Anytime.
We have our own subscription now, so communities can join. We just had a community in Delaware that said that they wanted to commit.
Probably go back to Delaware.
So those monthly reports it'll tell the rah-rah story, but we'll also be able to see is it's not working, correct? I mean-
Yeah, oh yeah, right, and I, as the account manager, would likely be the account manager for Painesville.
Yeah, you'd be telling us it's not.
Right, typically, I go back to my communities at whatever they want, whether it's to a committee meeting or to a council meeting, to give an annual update, like, hey, here's where we are, here's what's going on, and to answer the questions, we're always available. Monica and Jeff know how to get a hold of
If you feel any
me.
better, I ask them every week where they are.
He actually sees a report once a week, and occasionally get a question.
You're not waiting for the end of the month, right?
So moving forward then, who would be the kind of the liaison or contact person for this, or persons for the city that would be working with the gentleman on?
Me and Jeff. And then any time, I mean, if council wants to have someone more involved, then the ambassador is Paul as the infrastructure ambassador.
Well, I would share that, when I was on the Economic Development Committee of Council, I guess it's not a council, but the Economic Development Committee, I know that the issue of our utility cost has been something that we've needed to figure out and work on for a long time. And so I would share that, and I appreciate Monica breaking it down financially for me, help me understand what it would cost the residents. So I would share that I'm willing to use it with the comprehensive plan. I would agree with that statement.
I will too.
Make it this. I agree.
1973 member, I'm on the Planning Commission, and I think this is a very, very beneficial program for us. And to offer people who don't live yet in Painesville opportunity to say, hey, come on in. Now, as far as timing, my electricity usage through the year goes that way at summertime. So I encourage you to move as quickly as
Figure this out before July.
Ray Stern, also on the Planning Commission and a old project manager. I think to your comment, Lori, I think it's approximately $1.40 a month for residents, and it's non-optional for residents. It's, you know, you go to this program, residents will see $14 a year increase in their bill. But the point, I think, is offsetting that with the information of buying the additional, more smart and efficient components for the houses, etc. If you have an old house, that's good. If you have a newer house, it's less as well because you're already pretty efficient to begin with. So I think it's a good program, and again, it's only over $1 a month increase in price. But I think the communication to residents is going to be of utmost importance. I mean, if they see the bill going up $14 a year, if they even notice it, first of all, I mean, not, that'll be a problem. And then how do you tell them to purchase these additional components for their houses? So it goes to the communication to the residents on what the program is and what they should buy, how they should act to it. So I hope these guys are equipped to communicate with residents. Thank you.
Just to that, one of the things that I love about this program is the fact that we will have somebody interacting more with our residents regarding their electricity, because they're going to target them and go directly to them, which is something we don't have the capacity to do. So I'm excited that they are going to be doing all the things that they're doing.
Well, we see the documents that they're going to share with residents, we comment on them.
You could get that information from us, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to have comment on it. It's going to be something that I'm guessing is a boilerplate that they utilize for other communities.
You can go to our website and look at the existing website and look at different initiatives that are going on and pull down the document.
Thanks.
Mike Fay, 531 South State Street. I think Ray answered my question. It's a flat rate. It's not based on usage for the residents. It's $1.40 per month.
It's based on usage. So we were saying the typical resident usage times the $1.40 megawatt hour is approximately $14.
Okay, so it's not flat rate.
It's not. It's based on usage.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for coming out.
Monica, do you feel like you have your...
Yeah, so we'll work on some contracts and legislation, and we'll bring it back to council.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.